live.
Here we are. Voila.
Voila. And there you get a cattail.
And a cat butt.
Yeah.
Because it's a zoo around here.
It's a zoo. We literally have a sign that says it's a zoo.
And I forgot to get the toilet paper delivered to the place instead of the house.
Oh, you're talking about the box.
Yeah, that box.
So that's
box of toilet paper.
How much toilet paper is it?
That is, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Like 48 rolls or something?
I think it's more than that. It's like close to 80.
Yeah, okay. We do go through a lot of toilet paper.
It'll last a good, I don't know, 2 months or so.
The cool thing, like when COVID happened or anytime there's like a run on toilet paper, we always have plenty.
That's true. That's true.
But people will steal it from your units, just so you know.
That's true. And you know what? And that leads us to today's topic, best practices. And that's one of the things that I thought that we could share with people is how much toilet paper do you leave out for people?
That's like a good question, because I get that question a lot.
You get that question a lot?
Especially if it's like, hey, a longer stay, do you leave more out?
Right.
And like all that kind of thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Shannon's here.
Shannon is here.
I miss you.
Good evening, Shannon.
I miss you, Shannon. I miss my Thankful Thursday.
I know.
Group.
I know. So if you don't know, Wendy has a Thankful Thursday group every Thursday.
I used to.
You don't do it anymore. Yeah. So Wendy has has gone back to the teaching profession.
Yes, and I just recently got a job.
She did. Like it's
8th grade language
way
arts.
too easy, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Well, you know somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah, and it was all networking, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was indeed.
So that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So continue.
Let's talk about toilet paper, shall we?
Talk about toilet paper. That's funny. That's funny.
Well, that is one of the questions that we get asked a lot. Like, how much toilet paper do you leave out for guests? I serve 4 guests. How much toilet paper do you leave out? What if they're staying for a week? What if they're staying for 2 months? What do I do?
Oh, it's Mr. Hanson.
How much toilet paper? There's another Thankful Thursday friend.
There's Shannon.
Hi, Thankful Thursday friends. So good to see you guys.
There's Ryan. Good evening. You. Good evening, Ryan.
I miss you.
And I want to say, if you're ever on a Zoom call with Ryan,
3 squares.
Well, you see his profile picture though.
It says 3 squares.
Like that. That's always it. He's always in that truck.
You are. He works a lot.
He's either driving it or he's under it.
Yes, it's true.
So the answer that Ryan says, how much toilet paper?
3
squares.
3 squares. No.
That's not what we recommend. But it's very humorous.
It is very humorous.
It's very humorous, yes.
So let's talk about the best practices and things.
Features was the word.
Features, yes. That's good stuff too, because this is the kind of thing that nobody tells you. It's
That's
like,
true, yeah.
I've got these units or this short-term rental now. How do I?
What do I put in it?
What do I put in it, and how do I operate it? All right. But we did write a book, and it's got lots of great tips. It's called 88 Secrets to Success for Your Short-Term Rental Business.
Available on Amazon.
That's right. Yes.
Or wherever you might buy books, as long as it's Amazon. Because that's the only place it's available. However, I will tell you that
David's here. Yay!
Oh, there's David.
Excellent.
David. My good friend David. Talked to him earlier today. He had to talk to me in the car because I was picking up Wendy in the carpool line.
Right.
Which I find humorous, actually.
To get through the carpool
line. I'm normally picking up kids in the carpool line. Now I got to go pick up Wendy in the carpool line.
Well, we only have one car at the moment because my car bit the dust.
Well, you know what I did today? I decided I'm not going through that carpool line because it's a cluster. You know what?
I saw you.
And I said, I'm going to go park in the teacher park. Wendy told me it was the teacher parking lot. I'm like, I'm going to the teacher parking lot because she'll come out there, right? I was like, well, they got these really big parking spaces. This is really nice. And so I sat there for a minute and I was talking to David because we were on our coaching call, and then I realized I'm in a bus parking spot.
Oh no! Did you
Because
park
a
on the
big yellow bus pulled up next to me. I'm like, that's why the parking spaces are so big. And they're probably cussing me out right now.
Probably.
So I moved to
Thank
a
goodness.
a small parking spot.
Beside a car.
Yes. And
Good
then
job.
I'm kind of looking for Wendy to come out because her phone died while she was
Oh,
at
yeah,
work.
Totally. I forgot to bring my charger.
And I didn't tell her where I was going to pick her up. And so I'm like scanning, and there's like all these kids, and I'm like, I hope they don't think I'm some kind of predator or something. Like in the So anyway, it worked out. She found me.
Right. So David's finally in. Excellent. Right. So let's chat about some things that we think are best practices. So since we brought up the subject of toilet paper first, let's talk about that first, right? So what we do is we buy toilet paper in bulk, and you can get a really good deal on Amazon. Buy lots of things.
I'll say most things we get from Amazon.
Most things on Amazon. But here's a really great tip and one of the best practices that I think we should consider more this year, that now that we know what we should be doing.
Interesting.
Now we're
Okay.
going to.
I don't know where you're going with this, but I'm
just
intrigued.
wait, because it's really good.
Okay.
So one of the things that we have decided that we need to work on this year is our credit profile, our business credit profile. Isn't that what you call it? Your credit profile?
Sure.
So in order to do that, one of the first steps is to get to set up an account with places like Staples, Uline, and there was one more, and I forget what it was called. Do you remember?
I don't know. There's a bunch. Granger.
Yep, that's the one. Uline, yes. So Staples, Uline, and Granger. And to just start ordering stuff like toilet paper.
Quill.
Yes.
Quill's really good.
Yes, thank you. Yes, because Ryan is a wealth of knowledge. Yes, so you can do Staples, Uline, Quill, Granger. Those are all really great places to set up an account with, and just take turns. Maybe 1 month you order something like toilet paper, paper towels, soap, dishwasher pods, all those things that we have to order to stock the units, and just do one a month. Maybe you order from Granger, maybe you order paper towels from Granger this month and go ahead and pay it off. And then maybe you order dish soap from Uline the next month and go ahead and pay that off, right? Because after a while, and after you do that for, I don't know, like 3 times in a row, they'll start offering you terms. And now you can purchase your inventory on terms. So that is a really great tip. You want to add something to that?
What do you? Well, I would elaborate on it, because I don't think everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, well, they'll give you 30 or 60 days to pay it off.
Right. So
that's what terms
there's
means.
Like no interest or anything.
Right. Exactly.
They call it net 30, net 60, right, whatever the actual time is. And that's important because they do report to, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole a little bit on this because it's business credit, but they will report to mainly Dun & Bradstreet. So if you don't know, there are, David said, how do we set up these accounts in our business name using our EIN numbers? Yes, because you want that to report to your business credit, not your personal.
Yes.
But it's important to know that they're only going to report to certain places, right? So they're going to report to, in general, Dun & Bradstreet. So those are what are called trade lines. So when you hear, hey, I need to develop business trade lines, technically that's what those are. They're net 30, net 60 terms. Actually, Amazon Business has that. So if you're ordering from Amazon, don't use your personal Amazon account. Use an Amazon Business account, and they will offer you net 30 terms. That's what that means.
I keep forgetting about
So
them.
you can order from them, and as long as you pay them within 30 days, you're good, right? And not only does that help you in your business to where you can kind of plan your cash flow out, but it also helps build your business credit, right? But only in that one place, only in Dun & Bradstreet. And there are many places that
I didn't realize
business lines
that.
report.
I always thought there was just Dun & Bradstreet for business.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a whole nother live.
Yeah, that's
but there are many other places that you should be building credit as a business, like Experian, and Amazon Business doesn't report to Experian, right? So just know that, but it's still a good thing to do. It's still a good thing to do. If you're spending the money anyway, be building your credit while you're doing it.
Yeah, you might as well. And I wish that I had started sooner.
Yeah, I wish we'd done that early. I wish we'd had an Amazon Business account.
Yeah.
Because mostly we were using just our personal Amazon, to order stuff.
Yep.
And while that's fine and you get the product and everything, it doesn't really help you build credit, right?
Right.
So that's that.
Right.
But that's a whole nother subject. We really shouldn't have gone on the business credit.
Well, no, I thought that was best practices.
Well, that is a best practice, I would say.
That's a really great tip for people, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was really great.
Yeah. Sometimes they call it the house account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they? Okay. That's interesting. But to answer the question about how much toilet paper do we leave out, we leave, excuse me, we leave 2 rolls of toilet paper on the back of every toilet. And then we tell the cleaners whatever is left on the roll, just leave that unless it's almost out, right? Then you can take that away and probably just trash it or whatever, take it home with you. I don't care. And
that's true even if somebody's staying 60 days, right?
No matter how long they stay, everybody gets the same of everything. So we leave 2 rolls of toilet paper on the back of the toilet per toilet, right? And
well, that's true with linens. It's true with everything.
As far as linens go, we leave 1 set of linens per guest that we claim to host. So for example, if a space hosts 4 guests, we leave 4 sets of towels. So for example, when I'm saying a set, I mean the big bath towel, the hand towel, and the washcloth. That's 1 set, right? So I'm leaving 4 of those. If I claim to host 4 guests, I'm leaving 4 of those sets. If I claim to host 6 guests, I'm leaving 6 of those sets. No matter who's coming or how long they're staying, that's what they get, right?
Right. And I think it's more important, not the number, but that you're consistent about what that number is. So if you decide, hey, I don't want to do that, I think everybody needs 2 sets, cool, but do it every time.
Yeah. That's going to be
because that's the only way that you can. It becomes very difficult to scale and figure out every single time, well, how many people are coming? Well, the cleaners don't always need to know that, right?
Right.
It's way simpler to say, okay, we always put out 10.
Right.
Or we always put out 4. Right.
And
then that becomes consistent, and it will be consistent on your expense side too, because remember, you got to clean all those things.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, what are you charging for linens, if anything?
Yep.
Even if you're building that into some other cost, you need to know what it is every time. And if it's variable, then it's hard to do everything else. So you kind of want everything the same every time.
Yep.
And one way you can do that is disclose that in your listing. Hey, this is a starter set of whatever. And it's rare. I want to say it's rare that somebody stays because we do get a lot of longer bookings. I think it's rare for somebody to say, hey, we need more toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just know that they need to go to Walmart and get more toilet paper, right?
You're on your own.
But if somebody does ask, we will provide it.
That's true.
Because we are in that business.
That's true. It's the hospitality business.
So we will provide it, but generally people just don't ask.
Yep.
So
That's
that's
true.
something else that people,
That's
they
true.
wonder about. Like, hey, are they going to ask you for more? Are they,
Right.
It never comes. Rarely. I shouldn't say
Very
never.
rarely.
Rarely comes up.
Very rarely. And as far as dishwasher pods go, we leave 3 dishwasher pods under the sink. We leave 3 extra trash bag liners under the sink and 1 extra roll of paper towels and a sponge, a clean sponge under the sink. So under the sink, we've got 3 trash bag liners, 3 dishwasher pods, 1 sponge, and what else did I say? I think that's it. Something else. Is that right?
Sponge, dishwasher pods, and you said trash
Oh,
bag liners, but I
and
think you meant trash bags, really.
trash
can liners.
Trash can liners, yeah, and 1 extra roll of paper towels.
Oh yeah, the paper
even though there's a
Good Lord. I don't know if you can hear that. That cat has got a sneezing fit.
she did. You okay, Salsa?
I don't know why they choose to do this when we're live, but it's very funny.
And so there's 1 roll of paper towels under the sink, right? That's still wrapped up in the plastic, is brand new. But the one that's on top of the sink is either not full or, has been used or something like that. So we just leave that unless it's almost gone, then we'll replace it, right? So that's what we leave in the kitchen. As far as the laundry goes, I just tell the cleaners just to leave a handful of laundry pods.
Yeah, we found if you leave the whole thing,
Yeah, don't leave the whole thing.
people will just take it.
They will. Don't just reach your hand down in there and grab a handful and stick it on top of.
And by the way, we do use the pods, not the
Right,
liquid
right.
or
We
anything
don't-
like that,
we don't
because
do
that
that.
gets kind of nasty.
Yeah.
For one thing, and you can't leave like part of it.
Right.
Like you can't leave them a bowl of
Right.
fluid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and people will take it, and that stuff's not cheap. Like a whole thing of dish or
Oh yeah, those
laundry,
things
it's like $40-50.
Yeah. Well,
Last time I shopped, it's probably $80 now
right.
because of inflation. I have no idea because I don't do the shopping, but you get the idea.
You can get it in bulk and get a pretty good deal.
But people will, they'll just take it.
Yeah.
If it's
That's
in the unit,
true.
they'll take it.
That's
What's
true.
that episode with
That's
of
true.
Friends where they just take like everything?
Yeah,
Like you can take light bulbs, but not the lamps, right?
Right. The batteries, but not the remote.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't help you if you're gonna eat. If you're gonna eat pods, I can't help you.
Right.
Like, right?
Oh my God.
So
It's survival of the fittest.
it is. It is.
Sorry.
But we do have an SOP for death in the unit.
Oh,
So
that's true.
if you choose to do that, we have an SOP for you. So there's that.
Oh,
What else? What do you think is like generic that's critical to
a Keurig.
Why not a coffee pot though?
I
Because
think
David
that-
Manuel is here, and I know he has like 4 different ways to make coffee.
Right. So, well, I mean, he's providing the Nordstrom experience.
Right. So I want to say
So-
a lot of this has to do with it goes
Who
back to the
you're
basics
serving.
of
Yes.
who's staying there
Yes.
and who's your
Very
clientele.
much. Very
you
much so.
really do need
Yep.
for that. You're guiding.
Well,
principle.
that's really interesting that you said that, because one of the things that we actually started doing, and John probably doesn't know this, but we started offering the not just the Keurig, that is just the Keurig and nothing else, but they also make these Keurig and regular coffee pot duo type things where
where it's both.
where
like
it's
you can-
both. Yes. Right. Because we get a lot of older people in our units, and they tend to stay for a long time because they're here visiting the grandkids or, moving to the area or whatever. So
That's true. Our average length of stay over the past year is like 12 nights. And that's average, which means some people stayed 2 and some people stayed 30, right? So you're right. We do get a lot of that.
but I think it has to do with the older people.
Well, I appreciate it too. We kind of go back and forth,
We do
even in
go
our
back and forth.
own
Yeah.
household, right?
I think we're old though.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Don't tell John that he's. But I think people like that. I think that people, the younger crowd kind of likes the Keurig, but the older crowd really likes the regular coffee pot. So
well, I'll
you know,
challenge you on that.
I
There's a
love
lot of people
the
that
duo.
don't like the environmental aspect of Keurigs.
That's true because
You have that little plastic
Yep.
thing
Mhm.
and you throw it
Yep.
in. I know they make the
Yep.
reusable ones and
Yep.
everything,
Oh,
but
we don't have any of the reusable ones, but that's
not super
because then
practical
I'll
for what
have
we're doing.
we do not supply the filters or the coffee for that. If they want to use that regular coffee pot part, they're going to have to go buy their own coffee and filters. We just still give the Keurig pods, and that's it.
Why is that?
And nobody has ever said anything.
I don't think anybody's ever said anything about it
Nobody
either.
said a word. No, not one peep.
And I want to say in our case, it's because the people that use that tend to stay longer and they already have the mindset that, okay, we're going to buy our own stuff
We're gonna have to
anyway.
go to
Like
the
we're doing
grocery
grocery
store.
shopping, we're using
Yeah.
the kitchen,
Yeah. Exactly.
and that's kind of the target for that.
Yeah.
And the Keurig tends to be the person that's staying for the weekend and they just want
Exactly.
coffee in the morning.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So I think that having both kind of
Yeah.
covers both of those,
Yep.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I feel like that kind of it hits everybody. And the other thing that we do is we have the little teapots, and I like them because they add a little extra color in with the.
So you do it for a design
I
thing?
do it mostly for.
You mean
design.
like a tea kettle?
Like a tea kettle, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
you sit on the stove and you put water in and it whistles. And so we also have we've got the tea kettle for people who don't drink coffee and they like tea, because a lot of people like tea.
A lot of people do. I'm not a big tea drinker, but a lot of our clientele does, because I know they do, because we have to keep replenishing it.
Yeah, and so we'll buy the variety pack, and you can buy those in bulk too, of the little tea bags. So that's another really great best practice and tip for you, is to provide.
I want to say those things probably
kettle.
work everywhere, well, at least in the U.S. Like those are very common, that people just kind of they expect, and if it's not there, then it feels like you didn't care enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Because that's one of our guiding principles too, is we want people to feel considered.
Yes.
Like there's stuff in there because you hear this a lot. The thing that bugs me, though, here's the thing that bugs me. And I'll pick on the Airbnb automated dude, Sean, a little bit, because he has really great information. I do watch his stuff, just so you know. But one of his big things is, I'll outfit my units for $5,000, and I'm like, dude, you're cutting corners. You just are. You're cutting corners somewhere.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a good idea, but you're cutting corners. You have to be, right? In my opinion. And I feel like that the type of result you're going to get when you do that, when you say, hey, how cheaply can I outfit this place? It comes across.
And you're going to hear about it in the reviews too, because the bed's probably going to break.
Well, that, or you just won't get booked to begin with.
Well, yeah.
Because it looks like you cheaped out.
Yeah.
And didn't care. Like David is like the
right.
And here's a great example.
Yeah.
David is on the opposite end of that spectrum, meaning everything in his unit is, from my perspective, top notch, and he considers his guests. That's why he has 4 types of coffee you can make. Right. Right. He found the electric kettle worked better.
Oh, there you go.
Well, for him, it's easier to keep clean, right? But at the same time, I bet that most people don't have that in their unit. It's something else that David has in his unit is a Peloton. I bet most people don't have that, but he considered his guests, because most people are like, why am I going to spend an extra $2,000 on a Peloton? Well, because he considered his guest and he knows what they want. And I bet he gets a lot of bookings just because it's there. Right. And same thing with showing that tea kettle, showing the, different coffee options that you have, showing that David has robes in his units.
That's right. And I believe
Right.
they're
And it's like,
monogrammed
and it's
too,
like
aren't they?
they are, but that's
Yeah.
not the point. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we care about your
Right.
experience.
Mhm.
Like we didn't just
Well, that's the
try
whole,
to set it up for $5,000 and
Right.
leave everything else out. Right.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of providing a Keurig and all of those things and the extra toilet paper and the paper towels and all, because there's lots of places that don't even do that.
Yeah, but it pays off in the long run. It's one of those things that you don't see. Like if you're the person that skimped out and didn't put these certain things in your unit, you never see that you lost the money because people just didn't book the place, or they left you a 4-star review, or those things are way more expensive than
Oh yes,
even a Peloton, really, to be honest with you, or leaving out a tea maker, or leaving out these little, it's the little things, right? Everybody expects a couch. Like, yeah, you should have a couch and a bed, like, and probably lamps, and probably some artwork. And it's the details that matter, I think.
And the other thing that we like to do is the little USB ports. Those are, especially nowadays, are really great if you don't get the lamps with the built-in USB ports, which I love to get in the bedroom, by the way. But
and the living room,
I'd like to get them in the living room, but
we have them in the living room someplace.
Doesn't match the decor. It just
it's from a designer.
So if I can't find something that I like with the USB, then I'll just get the little USB port. And people absolutely love that kind of thing. It makes them feel like, oh, well, they've thought of everything that I need here. I love this place.
Right. And that's a really good example. David's point is like the people that they're not booking with anymore don't even know why.
Yep.
Because they're not going to tell you. Right. So that's interesting. Shannon has a little bit different view. It depends on where you're saving and who you're serving. Yes. Because there is a difference between cutting costs and cutting corners. And Shannon's making that point here.
Ooh, that's interesting.
She's saying, hey, I didn't cut corners, I cut costs, is really what she's saying, I think. And that is a really huge distinction to make. You know, I'm all for cutting costs, of course. We're all in business. You know, the less costs we have, the better. But at the same time, don't cut corners, right? And Shannon would know this too, because they rehab houses, and it's the same thing. When we were flipping and rehabbing houses, it was the same type of thing. It's like, okay, I can cut corners, or I can cut costs, and those aren't necessarily the same thing. And you're never wrong to cut corners. One of my first mentors always told me that. He's like, don't cut corners, just don't do it.
Yep.
You know, find another place to make it up and do quality work.
Yeah, it will come back and bite you.
And that's exactly, I think, what Shannon's talking about here.
Yep, agreed.
So, not an argument at all.
Yep, totally.
Yes, you can do those.
They actually have end tables with built-in USB and plugs nowadays.
And here's a little hint for you. If you're building, or if it's your place, like you own it. So we typically do arbitrage and rent. But even in that model, if we find somebody that's doing renovations and we're ultimately going to be the renters, we'll tell them little things like, hey, why don't you put the outlets in that have the USB plugs on them? Because they make those. They're regular electric outlets, and then they have little USB plugs, right? Or if you're doing it yourself, consider doing that. Because it's those little things that say, oh, I cared about you. And by the way, if you don't, they're going to unplug your lamp.
Yeah.
And that becomes a cost later when somebody calls you and says, hey, the lamps don't work.
Right.
Have you tried plugging it in? Oh, it's not plugged in. Right.
Even though it's on the cleaning checklist.
Yeah, and then you have to put it on the cleaning checklist as well.
Yes, that is on the cleaning checklist.
Because people will unplug your lamps to plug in their phone. That's the way it is. That's society. And their tablet, and their laptop, and their whatever, and their kids' stuff, like whatever the device, their Kindle. Is that a thing anymore?
I don't know.
I'm guessing people still have Kindles.
I don't know.
Had one a while, but
Been a long time.
anyway,
Yep. That's very good stuff.
it was very good stuff.
Very good stuff. Anybody have any that they want to share? I'm curious to know.
Like, what's your number one thing? If you had to say, like, out of the people that are here, what? Ooh, that's a really good question. Shannon says, are you putting alarm clocks in your units?
Nope, because people use their cell phones for their alarm clocks nowadays.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. It's something that hotels always had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that I've noticed that they're there anymore. And if they are, I want to say it's because they've always been there. But we don't. Do we? I don't know if we have a specific reason that we don't.
No, I mean, just people use their cell phones nowadays. I don't know. I don't.
Well, there's some reason the hotel's doing it.
I don't know. I don't do it.
Right. I mean, it could just be that, hey, we've always done it and that's what we do.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, because alarm clock can't be that much these days.
I mean, I'm sure it's not. I don't even consider it anymore. And nobody's ever said anything. I mean, if somebody were to say, hey, I would really like to have an alarm clock. I mean, I would go out and I would drop ship them one, but something that a couple of guests have told me, especially because we serve families with children, is night lights. And I had never thought about that. So now we do have night lights. And so we've got a night light in each bathroom and in each hallway.
I want to say they're either
motion
sensor or yeah.
Yep. That is one thing that that one lady that stayed for a long time asked me for. And I thought, man, that's a really great idea.
Well, you know who had that idea before that was Sinead. When we went down and did those 2 units that we did,
Gotcha.
We did. I was there. I put together a lot of furniture.
You did.
But when he went down to Louisiana and designed 2 units for another operator, a friend of ours actually, and he had those. That was his idea.
That's right.
And you plug them right into the outlet, and they don't do it during the day, but at night they'll come on if there's motion. So it's kind of like the light follows you around. It was a really cool idea.
Yep, sure was.
And I like those a lot.
We did. We had a lady ask us for those, and we drop shipped them.
Yeah, it makes sense because you're in a strange place. You don't know where the light switches are all the time, and I get it.
Yep, totally. I mean, especially for children, that's great. You're getting up in the middle of the night all the time. We put them in our first unit with the USB plugs in them. Oh,
I think that was in reference to the alarm clock.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mary says she provides a white noise machine, and that could be a thing.
Interesting.
Especially if you're in because we just had this complaint.
Yep, we sure did.
So we have
one of our new units in Charlotte.
Yeah, how long have we had that unit now?
Ooh, a couple months.
No,
longer than that.
A couple of months. It's like time moves faster than you think. Yeah.
6 months?
At least
6 months.
At least.
Because I remember setting it up and it was really hot.
Yeah, it was in the summer.
It was in the summertime.
But it's in the city. It's a townhouse. It's kind of a corner unit. It's probably our best, like technically location wise.
Yeah.
But it's in the city and it's on a busy street. And
the light rail
is there. So they mentioned the train track, and that was their only real. It wasn't a complaint. It was just in the review of, hey, if you're a light sleeper, this is on the corner, and there's that. So maybe we should. Well, maybe we should do what Mary does and provide the white noise machine, and then say complimentary white noise machine
there
for
you
your
go.
Right. So that's a way to say it has potential for noise without saying it has potential for noise.
Right.
Because you always want to say it in a different way.
Right.
Complimentary white noise machine or complimentary earplugs even. Right. Yeah. Nightlight wall plates. Yep. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I've seen those. Yeah.
Have you ever had the night lights walk away? Meaning somebody took them?
Not that I know of, but I haven't had to replace any yet. So
that's true. But we don't go to the units a lot.
Right. And I don't think it's on the list.
Yeah.
Right. of like
It's
quality
not.
control.
It's not.
It's not on quality.
It was like an add-on.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people will add things to your unit that you just don't know about.
Right.
And that's happened.
Yes.
So it's not that they walked away with it; they added it. Here's something interesting. We went out to. We rarely go to a unit, okay, but we went out to one. Actually, it was our very first one, wasn't it?
One. Yep.
The TV died finally.
God, I hadn't been to that unit in forever.
Yeah, it's been like 4 years at least. At least. Well, since we've been there, probably over a year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like technically been there.
Yeah, at least.
But anyway, we went because the TV died, and for whatever reason, nobody else could do it, and we had time, so we went and got a TV to replace it. And they're there for a few months. You know, it's one of our long-term people, and we got there, and they bought a couch.
Yep, sure enough,
bought a whole new couch for the living room. Because they said, you know, we kind of didn't like the way your couch set, so we just bought one.
Okay.
And it's a nice couch.
It is nice.
It's a nice couch, nice ottoman. I was like,
totally.
I'd probably replaced our couch with that. It even matches the colors.
Right.
So people will do that. They'll buy stuff and just leave it there. So
it's funny. Thanks.
Have you had to remove your proper made us remove ours? They said our underwriters know and improving coverage for units from them. They haven't said a thing to us about it.
Nope, not a word. No,
That's interesting. I wonder how long ago was that coverage? Because it's possible we just haven't come up for renewal yet, and they will do that. But no, they haven't said a word to us about it.
No,
It's interesting though.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, no. Why? I mean, are pack and plays dangerous?
Maybe it's a baby thing, and like it's the curl crib thing, and like somebody could get stuff. I don't know. You know how they changed the rails on? I know it's been a while for us, but cribs, like the rails have to be a certain thing so the baby's head doesn't go through it, or what. I can't imagine what a pack and play, why that would be like super dangerous, but okay. I don't know.
Oh, it was over the summer, she said.
Oh, they said too many recalls.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons that proper got quote expensive, is because they actually do provide coverage, right? Unlike a lot of other insurance. And you know, when people put in claims and there's enough of them, they either raise rates or say, hey, you can't do that. So that was one of the things that from the time we started using them till now, like they started making us take pictures of, hey, do you have handrails?
Oh, yes.
Right. Do you, you know, can you show us a picture of that?
Because we've got that one unit in Charlotte that is 2-story. And they made a couple of them, take a picture. And that other one that was we got 6 months ago. Yeah.
When we asked them about it, they said, oh, well, we had a big claim about it because there was no handrail and somebody fell and we had to pay it because it wasn't in our paperwork or whatever. Right. So yeah, insurance is weird like that sometimes.
That's right.
So, I don't know. I wonder if you can still offer them for rent, or maybe you're just not covered if somebody. I don't know what would happen with. I don't know. People are litigious.
Well, you know, we don't provide the bedding for those.
We don't know.
So people have to bring their own bedding.
Right, but I think she was saying it was like more like, hey, Graco had a recall on a pack and play.
Right, sure. I mean, I get it.
And somebody didn't replace it because it must have happened, right, for them to do that.
Right.
Like there was a recall, somebody didn't replace it, somebody whatever, like it pinched their finger or something. Right. And they sued, and then they said, well, it's because of recall and you're negligent. I'm sure it's something like that.
I'm sure.
But who knows? But no, I haven't had to do it. She said my contract was just up for renewal last week. No mention of the need to remove the pack and play. Interesting. Did they ask if you had it though, David?
I don't think I've ever been
I don't think that was on the application. Like I've been asked, do we have a swimming pool or
bunk beds?
But they do ask for your listing, right? So you send the listing and then they look at it. So maybe they noticed it was there.
That's true.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. Interesting. I wonder what they're going to say about your Peloton, David. because they do ask about that. Like, do you have bunk beds? Do you have
exercise
equipment, that
Mhm.
kind of thing? You
Yep.
said no, they didn't ask, but I know they do review a listing. Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
do.
what I was thinking. It'd be interesting to see if you
Yep.
have the same experience Shannon did,
Mhm. Yeah.
or it could be a state by state thing.
Mhm.
Like, it's not always
Oh, that's true.
just across the board.
Oh, that's true.
Because I do know that, like, for example, they're not keen on insuring things in, well, where they have wildfires, for example. Because we've had some coaching clients there, and they just like, we don't want to insure there because of all that.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Contacted me to confirm.
To confirm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So there you go, David. Okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a swimming pool.
Okay. Do you have to put that inside the unit? I guess probably near
Probably
the
in the
peloton?
listing or something.
Oh, gotcha.
Or your guest agreement. I know that we advocate for guest agreements as well, so maybe he has it in there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But that's good to know.
Interesting.
Something to watch out for, because that's always been something that's been in our units. And I would imagine, we offer the high chairs too. I'd imagine that's a similar type thing. So I wonder if you could, instead of just having it in the unit, have it by request, and hey, here's this waiver that you have to sign or something if you have it. I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
Right. Okay. Just
interesting enough.
Keep it in the supply garage.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody have any best practices and tips, both in the listing? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Put a label maker.
Yeah, because you got to have labels for everything.
Yep.
Caution, hot.
Yeah. Right.
Like you didn't know coffee was hot, but okay. I'm sorry. I'm a Gen Xer. That stuff bothers the crap out of me.
Yeah, well,
But it is what it is. There's only a label because somebody sued about it one time and won somewhere.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
So, but you want to protect your business. You do. You don't want to go under because somebody didn't know coffee was hot or some crazy thing, right? That's where we live in.
Remember that one time this lady complained about a bug being in the Keurig?
I don't think that was real. That wasn't real. That was an attempted scam.
She never said anything about it.
No, she didn't.
That was it. That was just.
She claimed, just so you know, she claimed there was a cockroach in the water reservoir of the Keurig, and she hadn't noticed it for 2 days.
Right.
And she'd been brewing coffee, and now she was feeling ill.
Right.
Is it possible? Nah, it's not possible. There's no way in hell that was true. She's like, I'm going to get checked out when I get home, and I'll let you know. And we were like, well, thanks for letting us know. Let us know how it goes.
Right.
That had to be, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
no. That's funny, Ryan.
That is funny.
Did she try to say no? She didn't. It wasn't even like that. It was like after she checked out.
Nope.
It was like weird.
Nope.
And I think she left us a good review and everything. It was just.
I don't remember about that.
I don't know if she was like a beginning scammer and didn't quite have our. I don't know. It was really strange. But people will say things. Yeah, for sure.
That's good stuff.
You're dealing with the public, you're gonna deal with stuff.
Ugh, Lord have mercy.
And most people don't have insurance, by the way, or they think air cover is going to cover it, which isn't insurance. If you've ever put in a claim, it's kind of a joke, but yeah. So we have really good insurance. We do, but yeah, abide by the rules. So make sure you got insurance.
Yeah, please get insurance. That's a best practice right there, too.
It is. It really is.
And get a security system. I know people don't put security. Some people don't put security systems in their units.
Well, they don't need to, Winnie, because you can just get, link cameras, and that's just as good, right?
If you say so.
We'll go into that another day.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's not. It's just
trying to cut corners.
Well, that's an example of cutting corners and not costs.
Yep, exactly. It's going to bite you in the ass later.
Eventually, yeah.
Don't come crying to me saying, oh, I didn't have it in there, even though you told me to. I couldn't afford it.
I don't know if that's fair,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Oh, there you go. Vivint's coming by on Saturday.
excellent.
There you go.
And it
I
doesn't
like
have to be Vivint, by the way. That's what
No.
we use, but there is a purpose to it beyond just having cameras and just having electronic door locks, really. Yeah, for sure. And you should have your own insurance. You should be in control of that.
Yep.
Right. And frankly, proper isn't the only game in town, but they kind of are if you're doing apartment rentals. I don't know anybody else that really covers what you need to have covered in a multifamily situation. But if you own the house, you do have other options. Just don't rely on your rider from State Farm because it's not covering everything you need to have covered. It's really not. But that's a whole nother deal. We'll do one on insurance one day.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably a really good topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's the thing about insurance. It's like you have it until you use it, and then you find out what you don't have. Right? Like, yeah, we don't cover that. Oh, great. So anyway, I didn't have anything else unless somebody else did.
No.
It's been almost an hour.
Oh my gosh, has it really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's incredible. Time flies when you're having fun.
And I got to go see what kind of tea times are available this weekend before somebody else grabs them.
That's right. Got to go play the golf
Because it
this
keeps
weekend.
raining, and I need to play golf when it's not raining.
So sick of rain.
I don't know about you guys. I'm sure it's happening out in Oregon where David is, but it's like rained every other day. I'm just tired of it.
I was like, I can't play golf in the rain.
I can't go outside. My yard's a mud hole.
Yeah.
Nothing dries out.
The dogs drag in all kinds of muddy footprints.
Exactly. The cleaners came to clean on Friday, and the dogs immediately walked in and made muddy footprints right across the clean floor.
Sure enough. Yep.
And then wanted to sit on the couch with a nasty butt. So it is what it is.
That's what happens when you live in a zoo.
It's also true. In a rainforest.
In a rainforest, apparently. So, well, any last questions?
Questiones?
Question. Dusting of snow. You can keep that mess.
I'd rather have the snow. Like if it's going to rain and be cold, at least snow.
That's true. A little bit. I don't want the kids to be out of school for very long, though.
Well, there's that.
I have to be at home with them.
Well, if you get that full-time teaching job, then you get to stay home too.
Well, that's true.
And I think you still get paid when there's snow days, right?
Really? Oh, yeah, I sure do because of your salary.
It's like a salary thing, yeah. What do you mean, really?
That's right.
Has it been that long?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a
while.
Rain, freeze, rain, snow. Oh, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad combination right there.
Well, if you choose to live in Minnesota, that's what you're going to do. Just saying.
Can't help you, Ryan. Sorry about that. Don't send none of that stuff down here. We don't want it. We don't want any of it. None. You can have it.
Yeah. All right, well, we're out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys coming and because
sure.
honestly,
somebody
like sitting here and having to carry the conversation between the two of us and not having interaction is very difficult. It's very difficult, and we might kill each other or argue about something. So I do really appreciate you guys coming.
No,
I hope you did get some value out of it as well. If you're watching this on the replay, hi.
Well, you can post questions in the group.
And people have been doing that lately. I noticed.
Right, and
Charmalie and Christine did. I saw something from Michael Sayer. If somebody hasn't seen that, I know Facebook. We're talking about the short-term rental authority community. If you want to come be part of that group, it's totally free to do so.
Yeah, totally.
And you may not always see the notifications. I noticed that Facebook kind of hides those sometimes. So check in, see if there's something there that you want to comment on, or just sometimes it's just like I want to vent. Come vent.
Right.
It's fine. I think that's what Michael was doing. Something about like they booked for 3, but like 8 people came.
Oh, bless them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ask any questions that you want. Come and vent. We love to have
and go comment on Michael's post.
Discussion. Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to comment on it today. I do have thoughts, which I won't give you yet, but go make a comment. hang out, and I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Oh, don't forget, we're going to play the Cash Flow 101 board game. Not next Wednesday.
It is
my
next
God,
Wednesday.
It's next Wednesday.
Yeah, so if you're local to Charlotte,
Holy moly.
on Wednesdays, at the last Wednesday of the month, we actually play Cash Flow 101. So that's more of a live event. We will go live and show you guys what's going on if anybody shows up. Hopefully somebody shows up.
Hopefully somebody shows up.
But if you're local, come play with us. We got to get better at promoting that and letting people know what's happening. But we will. If nothing else, we'll go play.
Yep.
And I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming. Good to see all of you.